Alrighty, we are live.
Hello, everyone. Hi, welcome to Quarantainment Live on this beautiful May 1st. It is May already. Um, and speaking of things May, you may have noticed that Henry was finally able to join us. Woke up just in time. So, Henry, say hello.
Hi guys.
Yeah, it's weird. I know you haven't joined us in the past couple weeks on the show. I know you've been tired, but
Yeah.
I mean, how are you feeling? How have things been going?
I've been good. I've been good.
Uh, Things are cool. How's Charlie doing? Is he bothering you? Or
Yes, he's a constant nuisance.
makes sense. Makes sense. So thank you for waking up in time to join us for this. Good afternoon, everyone. Um, we're here on the internet for you once again, coming at you live, and we have quite a show. I have a lot of things to talk about that I've unraveled in my. There's a whole conspiracy about the Twilight novels that we discussed previously. We'll get to that. But we're going to start with what we're calling update 18, update 19. Update 18 was the last idea before we kind of finalized it into 19. It had nothing to do with COVID-19. It's just people don't really realize that, but yeah, so that's how it works. So I don't know. We'll come back around to Henry. I'll give you a little time to wake up here. This kind of you're looking a little different, so maybe just feeling a little off. So we'll come back to you. But Kelly, how have things been going? And please give as succinct as an answer. Not, hey, do you have windows in that room? And then followed up with a tour of your room. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I've been vibing a lot recently. Just been going out, guys. I've been like hitting those sidewalks, taking walks around my condominium, like center area. Yeah, I just love seeing the color of beige and gray. It's just all I'm interested in right now. But no, when I'm in my house, I've been practicing guitar more. I've tried to be more productive again because I used to just not do anything productive. So I'm just trying to make it like 95.5%. Try to balance out just a little bit. I'm jumping from there, and I've been looking at NAU exchange programs because I'm probably going to NAU. So I'm looking at places like there. I'm looking at like England, Japan. And since I'm never going to China on the exchange program, I'm trying to learn Japanese instead of Mandarin because I realize that's never going to be useful. And yeah, I've been also vibing with the boys, me and Henry and Evan. Yeah, we've been playing Monster Hunter. We've been playing that up. Put 19 hours into it over the last couple of days.
That's true.
I've been grinding that. Yeah.
What's I want to go in depth here. So this is going to alienate everyone else in the conversation. I apologize. I'm not being a good host in that case. What's your go-to? What weapon are you maining? What would you consider yourself?
I've been maining bow since the very beginning, and I've almost been able to I almost have every single move down, with the exception of the Iceborne moves because I don't have Iceborne yet.
Right.
But I like to think of myself being close to being able to master the bow because I can do stuff subconsciously and be like, okay, I need to do this now, and I can do that, and I memorize every weak spot of the monsters.
Okay. Have you considered using a better ranged weapon such as the light bowgun?
It's not enough mobility. The dodge, because the way I play bow, I get really up close, and because I can get some good critical shots off.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, and so when I'm using a light bowgun or a heavy bowgun, I can't get as close, and additionally, I don't have that special dodge move, which can literally just weave my way through enemies.
So follow-up question: is there a hunting horn on your team?
No, because
Follow-up question to that: have you considered using the light bowgun because of its support capabilities?
I have, but I saw a different guides saying that the bow was also as good for support, and the light bowgun was just better in single player games. And I'm
from
on my own.
Okay, so from what I'm hearing, you looked up guides that said the bow is great for support. You are actively playing the bow up close as a more or less DPS.
When I'm in single player. When I'm in co-op, that's when I take a more mid-range approach, and I just sit back and try and put some coatings in the monster for my allies.
Okay.
We just lost
Great,
the
thanks, Kelly.
little of a few viewers that we had. We just lost them all right then.
Oh, perfect. I'm glad. All right. So next up, now that they're out of here, we can get to the real business.
All right.
Jonathan, what have you been up to?
I mean, I've been working when they have scheduled me. I nothing better to do. I been playing video games. I've gotten back into Assassin's Creed Odyssey because I feel like I need to beat it before the new one comes out. And yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very riveting content. Thank you so much for your update. Would you like to elaborate a bit more on some of that?
Well, I mean, I mean,
So work. How? I mean, so I know that Safeway.
It's-
since we last spoke about it, at least has really doubled up on a lot of their stuff. But,
yeah.
their policies. But how's that been impacting you personally?
I mean, I feel like when I am a courtesy clerk, I feel like I am busy. So it's kind of nice. Usually I don't feel busy when I do it. So it makes the days feel a bit faster. Cashier, it's not as stressful. It's still slightly stressful now because they still have like 3 or 4 cashiers, but there are still some lines that fill up at some points, and it's kind of difficult to do. But yeah, I mean, it's once again, it's also nice that we do have a cleaning crew, so just cleaning up like the check stands is very nice. And it just gives us a break from the customers sometimes, and just allows us to just recollect ourselves and then continue on.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's
Cool.
actually quite fun. I've been enjoying it so far.
Big ups to Safeway and their safety procedures and measures taken to keep
Heck
people
yeah.
safe. Some might say it is the safest way to shop. Perhaps.
No.
For sure.
All right.
That
Excellent.
caused me physical pain.
It's okay, Henry. I know you've been out of this for a little while, but once you get used to kind of Jonathan's stories, then you'll get used to it.
Sorry, I caused
so-
headaches, Henry.
It's fine. So while Henry, you kind of wake up here, Gabby, how have you been doing?
I've been doing good. Today I'm trying a new carbonated beverage that is not kombucha, nor is it LaCroix/LaCroix. This is AHA, created by the Coca-Cola company. It is caffeinated sparkling water, and I kind of hate it. It tastes really weird. It has as much caffeine as a cup of green tea. I would not recommend this. It does not taste good.
An alternate to that, I personally enjoy yerba mate. Yerba mates are good.
I don't
the name
like
scares
those,
me.
but I've had before, but I don't like them.
Yeah.
I prefer kombucha, as we know.
I hate this so much.
Oh wait, we're doing LaCroix can collection?
No, that's kombucha.
Just
How
kombucha.
far is that kombucha like pile been stacking up there?
This is a Wicked AZ. This is a coffee.
This is an algae.
Traditional caffeine, I see.
Acne Water is asking what flavor that is.
It's citrus and green tea, but it tastes like
That sounds nasty.
it tastes like sunscreen a little bit. Like,
Right, yeah. That's one of my favorite flavors. That's my favorite Birdie Bots Every Flavored Beans flavor.
Oh, man. Alright. So
Everybody's just drinking LaCroix. I still drink my coffee.
Sorry, these were just sitting here, and they're not empty.
No.
Oh no, I've got a 2 12-packs and an 8-pack in my fridge, so I understand.
I just have a pile of them behind my bed.
Has anybody tried the new watermelon flavor? I saw Levin
Yeah.
had a can of it yesterday, and I'm curious to see what it actually tastes like.
is it like one of the thin, tall ones, like the special fancy?
Oh, I don't like those.
No, it's because
Okay.
those are blended. So this is just
yeah.
a straight up single flavor.
no, I haven't tried peanut butter.
Yeah.
I typically don't.
I mean,
LaCroix.
Yeah, I'm assuming watermelon would be pretty solid. So this is a weird one. So has anybody ever? I don't know if they still have it. This has got me thinking. Who here has had strawberry Fanta?
Oh,
Oh,
I
I
have
have-
some. Yeah.
I have.
Okay.
Time ago.
Okay. Yeah, I always remember going to Jack in the Box as a kid, and they had strawberry Fanta on tap, and I remember it being really good. And I don't drink soda anymore, and I had strawberry Fanta in the last couple months. I Strawberry Fanta I don't think is good, but it's also this
Watermelon
weird
Fanta
a
is
strawberry
worse.
soda. What is there a watermelon soda?
Yeah, it's a watermelon crush. Watermelon crush. It just tastes like Jolly Rancher. Like it just tastes like Jolly Rancher.
Ooh, that sounds nice actually. To me.
It's horrible.
That sounds terrible. Why would you want to drink a Jolly Rancher?
Every time we had a pizza party at Caveat with Kruger, he would always buy a 2-liter bottle of it, and he would just drink it himself.
Oh,
It's so awful.
that's
All right,
terrible.
I have a follow-up
So
question.
bad.
Curiosity.
Yeah, go ahead, Kelly.
You go into Jack in the Box regularly. Why Jack in the Box? Like of all the like fast food ones, that seems like
It was right next door to our house.
oh.
Yeah,
What-
and
what-
so I'd either go with my friend or my dad would have coupons for like 2-for-1 stuff.
Oh, all right.
I experienced both things in my childhood based on my dad having coupons for it or not. To this day, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'll go to a restaurant in Flagstaff and I'll go to Dilly Palace with Jesse, right? And he'll ask, oh, you did you use a coupon? Like, and we do, so I'm not lying. So, Dad, if you watch this, I'm not lying. I do use them. But yes, yeah. So that's why Jack in the Box.
All right.
Yeah. So that was a great follow-up question, Kelly. Really appreciate that one. Anyways, Henry, now that you've had a chance to wake up,
Yeah.
thank you, Gabby. Would you like to share with us, Henry, how you've been doing lately? How have things been going? How are you enjoying sophomore year? I know things are a little weird.
Yeah, it's a little bit wacky. I quite enjoy it. Wait, I thought I was a junior.
No, you're
No,
no.
you're a sophomore.
Nope, sophomore.
I understand your confusion because I know you left Fala for like a semester and then you came back, but no, you are still a sophomore. I know it's early. I get it. You just woke up, so I understand.
I mean, technically, we could classify him as a junior.
Yeah.
You hang around a lot of juniors if you don't remember. Sometimes you like to pretend that you are a junior, but that doesn't make you one.
Oh yeah.
I hang out around not anymore, but I roll with a lot of 65 and over crowds, but I still don't get a discount at Denny's.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm just gonna say.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for that.
Sam tries being a senior, and then tries being a junior.
I just
Yeah.
imagine Mr. Cassidy walking to Denny's with like a 65+ crowd of like 5-ish people, and they all have matching leather jackets.
Oh my god. You just hit the nail on the head. It's our old like 50s doo-wop quartet. Like it's just kind of how we rolled in high school and how we roll now. So
Yeah, I've been just chilling. I've been playing a lot of Terraria with normal. Some Destiny 2. A little bit of Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Zombies with Avi.
that's on sale this week. I think like the entire collection that's like Blops 3 plus the season pass plus like the Zombie Chronicle stuff is like $30. Is that something I should pick up if I don't like Call of Duty, but I'm interested in like the zombie stuff, I guess?
Yes.
Zombies is fun. We enjoy it. Christopher and Jonathan are super sweaty at it, and so they know all the Easter eggs and stuff. And so
Right.
me and Avi just kind of run around. But the best part about Black Ops 3 Zombies on the PC is that you can download mods for it. So
Okay.
you can have custom maps, you can have custom player models. So I have a mod where everyone is just Kermit the Frog.
Perfect.
It has custom voice lines with it too. It's just so good. It gets old after a little bit for me personally because it's just repetitive and it just I'm not very good at zombies, so I just get trapped a lot and it drives me insane.
Right.
So then I just end up reverting back to Terraria. So yeah.
Okay.
I've
Cool.
just been playing video games for like 12 hours a day.
That would make sense why you can't make it up for streams. So I understand. Yeah. Well, cool. Yeah. I mean, like, say hello to Evan for me. I don't want to talk to him myself necessarily, but
All right, I will.
yeah.
I think.
Cool. Yeah. Things have been. Okay, so we need to stop beating around the bush. I know what the people want. We know what the people want.
Yep.
The past week I have spent. I got to lean back here for this. So if you recall, last week we discussed and went down the rabbit hole that is that was 2 spin-offs. We were trying to figure out what the title of this Twilight novel was, and 2 options came up, and it was Life and Death Twilight Reimagined, which is the gender swapped Twilight, and then there's Midnight Sun. So okay. I went to some corners of the internet. We're talking like Twilight forums. Not even just the subreddit. I'm talking like Twilight fan site forums and like the discussion pages on the Twilight wiki.
Oh no.
Because I was kind of curious into finding Midnight Sun. Okay. So Midnight Sun. Something like 3 years ago when the movies were wrapping up, Midnight Sun is the reimagining of Twilight from Edward's perspective. Okay, so that's the one that I thought I had seen on a shelf. Turns out I'd seen Life and Death. Apparently, back in 2012 or so, the first 12 chapters of that book were leaked. And so in rage, Stephanie Meyer put out a blog post on her site saying, okay, fine, I'm not going to make this anymore because people leaked this out, and sorry, no more Midnight Sun. Like that's ridiculous. How dare you? Okay.
Makes sense.
So for the past 8 years or so, everybody has kind of been like clamoring for Midnight Sun and trying to re-envision what the remaining chapters would look like. It led to a lot of fanfic, a lot of non-canon stuff that the wiki has labeled as such, just so you're aware. I did look through all the wiki pages for Midnight Sun and all related pieces of it.
So which means you read like all of the fan fiction chapters? Okay.
Yes. So wait. So within the last 24 hours, I'm not kidding, at 3 a.m. this morning, I was just doing a last-minute research on Midnight Sun while finalizing my cast list for Life and Death, which I promise we're going to get to sharing those. A news story popped up on Stephanie Meyer's website and her Instagram. There is a countdown for 5 days. And if you look at the HTML code, it references Midnight Sun. And that 5 days will be the 15th year anniversary of Twilight being released in 2005.
Matt Pat, is that you?
So unrelated to our discussion a week ago, 6 days after our discussion, a countdown for what is ultimately going to be the release of Midnight Sun showed up on her Instagram. So my challenge for us is, if this turns out to be what I think it is, and this is Midnight Sun, I think we need to have a reading party and discussion and work our way through Midnight Sun.
All right. Yeah.
I'm down.
I mean, I think this also means that Stephanie Meyer's listening to us, so I think that there will be a Life and Death movie after our video today.
I really do hope we get a sponsorship out of this. I know we don't really want to go for Google AdSense, so Stephanie Meyer, if you're watching, love your work. I too am a Scottsdale kind of I'm a Scottsdale kid. I grew up there. I totally understand where you're coming from. I've known people who have seen you in person, and so I feel like we have a connection on a personal level. I would really appreciate you coming onto the show or giving me a free copy of Midnight Sun, if that is what this is going to be, which I'm really hoping it is. And I've done a lot of investigation into reading the wiki on Twilight, and your fans, I know, are also clamoring for this release, because literally I went to a talk page on the Midnight Sun wiki where people were talking about the countdown and being very excited for new Twilight
still
content.
A fan of Twilight that like they're so hyped about every update on Twilight. Like, how is that still a thing?
Series ended so long ago.
But
How has
you
that
know,
fandom managed to stay alive?
Hey, how are there still Star Wars fans after the last 30 years?
Because it made an actual impact on the world. Twilight was just like, this was my depressed phase.
Look, I'm just gonna say, without Twilight, we wouldn't have the Ben Reeves, is it Matt Reeves? Matt Reeves Batman with Patrick Oh wait, no, Patrick.
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson will be playing Batman. So
I'm okay with
mate.
that, to be
Yeah,
honest.
I'm okay with that. I guess.
I would be able to sleep at night just fine if I didn't see him play Batman.
well, whatever. You can say whatever you want about R-Pats, but I won't tolerate it. So
I
R-Pats
like
in case
R-Pat.
two.
I am an R-Pat stan.
Yeah. And don't forget about Anakin. Come on, Anna Kendrick before she got big.
Oh.
Played volleyball with Bella in that first movie.
Yeah.
Wait, was the lead actress in Twilight Anna Kendrick?
No.
No.
Nice.
She played one of her like normie non-vampire for like
Her
friends.
normie
I think she was a friend.
I've never even seen Twilight.
Okay, well, then Henry, you need to stay in your lane.
Yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, so I mean, we'll get into sharing these lists. I don't know how in depth everybody went. Who here? So Gabby, I know you have a list.
Yes.
Does anybody else have a list?
I do not.
I wasn't here last week.
Correct, Kelly. Get with the program, literally. So Gabby and I will share our lists. I don't care who goes first. And then Henry, I thought this would be great since you are our notable. I know you were just joking with that. I've never read a Twilight thing. Since you're a noted Twilight expert, I think it'd be great if you could grade each of them. And then Kelly and Jonathan, you could ask questions and try to push for, okay, why did you choose this person or what? Makes you
Okay,
think
that
this,
was gonna
this
be
actor,
my
actress.
All right.
Right. So I want you guys to give us feedback, and then Henry, you'll kind of absorb all that, and then you'll kind of score us. And I think we should go line item by line item. How many people did you cast, Gabby?
I made a little PowerPoint presentation. So
Oh wow! I only made a Google
show
one.
my
So.
images. So
Okay.
but I see
Yeah.
them in like person, but my PowerPoint is really cool though. So.
Okay. Yeah. I don't have a PowerPoint. So if you want to go first while you're presenting, I will be Google image searching for pictures of people and then copy and pasting them into a Google Doc.
Okay. Before I present, I would like to know, Cassidy said earlier in the pre-stream that he did lots of research, including looking at the wiki descriptions of all of the characters
Yes.
and so on and so forth. I, on the other hand, went with the true approach that all casting directors use, and that is going with the heart and the soul and letting my fingers like fly blindly across the keyboard, searching top 50 actors of 2020 and then go from there. So now we shall begin my presentation. Okay.
Okay, great.
Let me
This is gonna look so official. I'm so excited.
It looks really good.
Okay, can you see this?
Yes.
Life and death casting proposal.
Oh, 100% I can.
Okay. Do you see this stupid thing up at the top?
No, I see Ty Myers present.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Anyway, so welcome to my casting proposal. Okay, first of all, we have Timmy T as BEAUFORT, aka Bella. Okay, so he's got the same sort of like skinny Victorian like not eating enough food, like hollow cheeks sort of situation. Like you can definitely see him like being like a klutz.
Emotionless.
Okay, yeah, emotionless, exactly. Like he could.
Is that what we want in an actor?
That's what we want in Bella.
That is what we get, exactly.
There you
Okay.
go. One.
All right. Next up, we have EDYTHE CULLEN, aka Edward Cullen. Okay, so excellent. As you can see, I put all my photos in black and white to kind of just like create like a cohesive aesthetic. All right, moving on. Okay, so we have this person, Jamie Loy. I've never heard of them before, but I thought it was really important that somebody actually Native American should play Jacob because or / Julie, because yeah, I thought that was important. So here we have this person. All right, next we have Britney Spears. Okay.
Too old for the role. What are you doing?
No.
How old is she now? She's like
42.
It makes sense. Okay, it makes sense. All right, now we have her wonderful husband, Zac Efron.
Yes.
Ernest / Esme. Okay. you can just imagine these two in like a really weird relationship. That's exactly what we want.
That's definitely coming to mind.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. So I went a little younger with this one, and that's just because I really wanted Finn Wolfhard to play this character. Okay. So this is our gender swap character,
I'm a big fan of the FN2187.
Thank you. I try hard for this crowd.
I appreciate it.
Can we just address this picture? Like, there's something so off-putting about it.
Yeah.
It's
where
the
his face,
lips.
I look black. That is, I think, the situation.
Yeah.
That too, but like, it's just his face almost looks like a globe.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like it's rounded.
But see, you can see him, like, you know, seeing the future, like, being kind of the oddball, like, weirdo of the family. You can just,
Yeah.
you can see that, you can feel it.
Yeah.
And even though it is, like, a younger approach to the character, like, can bring something fresh and new to the role. Okay?
Right.
I mean, he will be older by the time the movie comes out.
Here's a nice little blurry picture that I didn't bother resaving. I'm not super invested in this casting of the character. Honestly, I'm not like, I kind of feel meh. But that's the way that you feel about Emmett. You just kind of feel meh. So I feel like it was kind of fitting. Okay. Next up, we have Rosalie, aka Royal, played by Ross Lynch, aka Austin from Austin and Ally. So you can just see, like, yeah, it's just like, I don't know why, but you can see it. You feel it in your heart. Okay. Next up, okay, so we have Jessamine / Jasper as MBB. Okay, and this is mainly because. I don't really feel like backing this up, so you're just gonna have to
Why
go.
do you say MVB though? Like
MVV.
That's what that.
Jonathan, we're not bringing that meme back.
All right, now. This is
Night at the museum looking fool.
okay. So I thought this was funny because he has the same name. He's like the only character that isn't gender swapped. So Charlie's same name, Swan, Night at the Museum looking fool. We all to bring a little bit of comedy to this otherwise like kind of like, you know, sad film. And I think that he would have some great chemistry with T. Chalamet. I think that would be really funny to watch.
Hey, champ.
So.
I have no idea who Timmy Chalamet is. Still.
Henry.
He's in the upcoming Dune movie.
Doom?
Dune, not Dune.
Oh, I got really excited. I thought they were making another Doom movie.
They did. They made one last year.
Oh.
Wait, you're joking.
No.
I'm not joking. They made a direct. It was supposed to come out to theaters, and then they slashed the budget and put it direct on like video.
That makes me feel
The
sick.
first one went so good.
Yeah. No, this one's terrible. But yeah, it's meant to be like a reboot.
Did it
of
have
the
the
film
sickening
series.
first-person shooter scene?
They don't have that actually. It's somehow a worse movie, and I don't understand. It has like nobody in it either. But check it out. It's Doom something. But yeah, it came out in like September.
Right,
by the way, Jonathan, somebody anonymous told me that your volume is astronomical and the rest of us are quiet.
That's fair. I can adjust it. Why did I?
Okay, thank you. All right, moving on with my wonderful presentation. Okay, now we got. Okay, so hear me out. So Joss, I kind of hate that name, but is gender swap
Joss is German for girl.
But I decided to keep it as a male character, okay? Because I just wanted this to be like add in a gay relationship into this film because that's what was missing. So we added in Ansel Elgort, well-known DJ. If you know his music, HMU, because that's only a good.
I don't know who it is.
You don't know who this is? Okay.
No.
Baby Driver, Fault in Our Stars.
Yeah, Baby Driver. I love that movie.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of those films.
You haven't seen
well,
Baby Driver? What?
No. I don't
Baby
know.
Driver is a great film.
It's so good. The soundtrack is bomb. The the visuals are sick.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a sick movie.
Yep.
I'll pick it up though. I will cry now to watch it now that you've talked about bringing him in to be in a gay relationship in the new Twilight.
And you want to know
course.
who he's in a gay relationship with? Are
Who?
you ready? Are
Yeah.
you ready?
I am ready.
Yeah,
I
Tom
am
Wilhelmus.
Oh
Yes.
See, can't you like imagine the chemistry? It's so great. This is perfect.
Hey.
This is perfect.
I
This
am
is
so
perfect.
sick of seeing Tom Holland's face.
Tom
It's-
Wilhelmus.
How do I mute an image? I don't have to see his face anymore.
What's wrong with Tom Holland's face, dude? I mean, he's been in all the animated stuff, so you're not really.
Okay,
seeing
but
that
here's
much.
the thing. Here's the thing. Avi sent me this image of him like gently licking his lips, and that every time I see his face, that image just pops up in my head, and it just I can't move past it.
That sounds like a personal problem.
Yeah, that's not
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Moving on. Okay, so we have Lauren is gender swapped to Lauren, played by Zoe Kravitz. I feel like this is
Okay.
cool. Good fashion. Okay.
That's
So now we
an
have
interesting
bonus
that's an
feature. I made a soundtrack.
interesting choice.
So we know that the Twilight soundtracks are like famous for their random selection of like good music and then also Christina Perri. So I tried to invoke this same sort of thing, but like skewed more to the slightly better side. And then we have my part two of the soundtrack. Okay, so I just tried to like bring it into this more modern era. Okay.
Okay.
And then lastly, we have directed by Greta Gerwig. Okay, so well, thank you for coming to my presentation.
Okay, I have one thing to add to the soundtrack list. We should add Sea Shanty 2 to the soundtrack list. I think it'd be really good. It's from the RuneScape soundtrack. It's very powerful. I think it would add a lot of great qualities to the film.
No.
All right.
Okay, so that's good input. So while I'm continuing to copy and paste pictures of people into a Word doc, I think your choices are great, Gabby. But let's hear some feedback before I debut and dish on some fools.
All right. Jonathan, why don't you and me just like jump on some questions that we can ask Gabby on her choices and why some are made.
I mean,
Well, you
I
can
don't
do that
know
on the
about
list.
you. Like, I can totally see all of them,
Wanna go to
like
the
as
list?
the characters.
Except for maybe Britney Spears. But,
Yeah,
yeah.
Britney Spears is the only questionable one, but that I will give that. Also, I do enjoy the Ben Stiller cast, but since it's the same character, couldn't they just use the same character?
That's true. That is an option.
Ben Stiller's better. I mean,
Oh, wait, I had a bonus slide. I
really
forgot to share this. Wait. This is really important. I have a bonus slide. Oh God, I forgot that I added this like 2 minutes before I started presenting. Okay. Ready?
I'm ready.
What?
Oh no.
Robert.
That's amazing.
Why is he? What did he?
That is a mess.
What is that? No,
I
genuinely.
found
What
the
is
photo
that?
recently, and it needed to be in that presentation. Okay.
Okay. All right. So I agree with Jonathan also, and I agree with a lot of the casting choices that you made, and I can see it, even though I've almost never seen the film. I've only seen just little snippets of it. That said, I do want to talk about your music choices. Why did you make some of the choices that you made, and why do you feel like those are used for best, like reflecting the scenes and emotions in the scenes? Or
Good point. So basically what I did was I like looked at the previous Twilight soundtracks, or I didn't actually have to look at them because I already know what they all have on them. And I kind of tried to like emulate the similar types of artists. So basically I would be like, okay, so like you got some like Iron and Wine. Okay, so Iron and Wine's kind of like folk, like kind of like so I just like abstracted genres from artists and then went through like all my music on Spotify and then tried to find similar type songs. I also tried to like, like, okay, this could be like in a chase scene. This could be like, in like the nice like romantic scene, like etc.
all right. I find all right. So for directing though, you used what was it? Greta
Greta Gerwig.
Gerwig. That's right, Greta Gerwig.
No idea who that is.
I also am very. I don't.
How do you not? What?
I know.
Oh my
I think, yeah.
I
Really?
Actually, I still don't know who Timothy Chalamet is.
I don't.
You can
whatever,
like
that's fine, that's
memorize
fine.
like hours and hours and hours and hours and hours worth of video game lore, and you can't like manage
Watch a
the
film.
to like uh,
It's not. It's not. It's not lore in Monster Hunter World. It's weak spots which you use on a regular basis in combat.
You're missing her point, Kelly.
I-
Yeah, you're
Alright,
like completely missing her point.
I am
You're digging
aware
her
of that,
further.
and I
You're
am
digging yourself
working
further into a
hard
hole.
to get your point. I was not. Okay.
yeah, anyway, I chose Greta Gerwig because she's like a really great female director, and the first Twilight film was like directed by a woman, and the adaptation was written by a woman, and the original book is written by a woman. So I
Alright.
felt like I liked that, even though like the directing of the first movie was like not great. It ended up like replacing her after that. I thought it would be better to like. I think it would be good to like keep that idea, but implement a new director who's better.
Alright. Like
Smart.
Greta Gerwig instead of other female directors. Like, why did you choose her in particular?
Because she's cool.
Okay, that's solid. That's solid answer. All right, Cassidy, how's yours coming along?
You know, well, I think it's probably good enough, right?
Do you need a little those more stock images?
I'm sorry.
Do you need a little more
No,
time to stock images?
I think I'm fine. This is gonna be this. I'm just figuring out the best way to present this. Okay, that's gonna be fun. So this is very professional. So please don't let this count against me for how unprofessional this looks. I swear I created I spent a long time doing this. So let me explain real quick before I share my screen, kind of the decisions I'm making, and I'm going to control all of this, and we're gonna bump this guy over to centered so it looks cleaner. That looks great. Okay. So let me explain here. Gabby mentioned this already. Last week when we decided to do this, I started looking up on it, and I was kind of just going by film and being like, who's a good approximation of this character? And then I looked at like the wiki to get a sense of, okay, what were these characters like? And I found out that the wiki has a very detailed page for every single character in Life and Death. So it has like a separate entry for BEAU, it has a separate entry for Edith Cullen. And they were very detailed. And then I'm like, at this point, I might as well just read the book. So I found a PDF and I read Life and Death to get a better sense of these characters so I could make accurate casting choices. And so I am going by, as a fan, if you will, of the novel. So with that being said, I'm going to start with what I think is Gabby, I might like your choice better, but I'm going to begin with my choice for BEAU. And my choice for BEAU is the one, the only, Tom Holland. So in the book, BEAU is kind of like so here's the only problem, right? So like I think your choice is better for his height because his physical height is stated to be 6 feet, and it's weird. He compares his height to like everybody else in the book. It's very weird. But I feel like I went based on the timidness that I think Tom Holland can bring to the role, and you can get some like comedy out of that. I think which would liven up some of that stuff and some of the darker themes of the novel. And so I think if we're trying to emulate that timid nature, I feel Tom Holland is a really good option, even though his height doesn't come in at totally accurate. He is also described as, I believe he has like curlyish brownish hair and some more gaunt features. So that's BEAU. Next up, Cara Delevingne as Edith Cullen. I wanted somebody who mimics the novel's portrayal of Edith as kind of intimidating, but also like has this like traditional like almost supermodel-esque beauty associated with her. And Cara Delevingne started out as a supermodel. She's done some acting. She's also very stiff and wooden in her acting, which I think is a nice homage to the original Twilight film with Robert Pattinson's role. And so I wanted something that she has those kind of that darker kind of aesthetic to her that I feel lends itself well to that intimidation that Edith Cullen projects in the novel. Please, if you have questions, please ask. But we'll go to the next one. Julie Black will be played by Amber Midthunder. So I agree. Gabby, I think it's critical, especially in the context of the novel, to keep this role as somebody of Indigenous descent. And Amber Midthunder is in Legion, which is an FX show about like new X-Men type stuff, essentially. She's an amazing performer in that. And I think what makes her a good contrast is in the book, she is described as like beautiful in a more natural way than Edith is. And so BEAU's attraction to her is more towards that girl next door kind of like nicer look. And you see that in Jacob and Edward's dynamic too, is like Edward's kind of the bad boy and Jacob's the more relatable one. And I feel like Julie Black needs to be played by somebody who can bring that same dynamic. And Amber Midthunder has shown that in her performances in both Fargo and no, was she in Fargo? No, I think she was just in Legion. She might've been in Fargo too. Ernest Cullen, Adam Driver. We want the patriarchy of this family to be a dark, kind of more or less like not foreboding figure, but somebody who can project confidence and intelligence, which I think Adam Driver does quite well. And I thought it'd be a nice pairing, putting up with ScarJo as Kareen. And so kind of a nice throwback to Marriage Story. I think their dynamic worked great in that. I think they can pull it off together as parents of the Cullen family. And so I feel like that's and they're in the good age range to where Carlisle and Esme, and then obviously their counterparts in this novel, would have been kind of frozen in time through the vampirism. So next up, Archie Cullen, Keegan Allen from Pretty Little Liars. He is, I think, a great choice for this. In the novel, he is described as being like quite handsome and one of the more attractive members of the Cullen family. I think Keegan Allen projects almost like Michael Boreanaz type of handsomeness that is befitting of his character in the novel, and also a kind of a calming presence. Again, similar to Archie in the novel. Okay. Jessamine Hale as Elle Fanning. Jessamine is described as pretty intimidating, kind of tall, blonde, and people at the high school are kind of intimidated by her because she projects confidence and strength. I think Elle Fanning does a great job with that in most of the roles she's been in, of just projecting that sense of independence. And she has kind of that, I don't know, like not wiriness necessarily, but just that that kind of like, she has a presence. Royal Hail, Michael B. Jordan. Okay, so hear me out on this one.
Wait a minute.
Hold on.
Hear me out. Royal Hail in the novel is described, he's very arrogant and kind of like very much a jock. Obviously, he's a nice person, but he's perceived as a jock. Michael B. Jordan, I think his strength as an actor is really selling this like idea of both physical strength, but also like a tenderness and a compassion in his roles. Like as bad as the Fantastic Four movie was, I think he does a great job trying to sell that character who's pretty similar, like this hot-headed type who at the end of the day kind of has his virtues and his convictions that he sticks to. And I thought it would be this great to put him in this role. And so again, I welcome any and all feedback.
I love his nostrils. For some reason, his nostrils just soothe me.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
Like they accent his face really well. I don't know why.
Dude, Michael B. Jordan's a
like his cheeks, like they're just like so, like
yeah.
it's just calming.
I can stand behind this.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, I could
Thanks.
too.
All right, and also he is in a relationship with wait, is it with Jessamine? Yes, it is. Yeah, it's because yes, Jessamine and Royal are in a relationship, and their attraction to one another is more or less based on their shared quality of kind of that confidence that they both have. So Eleanor Cullen, or no, sorry, Jessamine and Archie. No, yes, Jessamine and Archie are in a relationship. My bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say, aren't
Royal
they
Hail.
siblings?
Which that was good a little.
My bad. No, they're married. It's a weird thing. So it's a not a coven. It's like a gathering of vampires, but it's It's weird. Anyways, they're not like related by blood. Eleanor Cullen is Mary Elizabeth Winstead. She is described as similarly intimidating and darker featured than any of the other Cullens, really. She's also exceptionally strong and just, I feel like Mary Elizabeth Winstead. So if you've ever seen Sky High, she is the villain in that.
Oh,
And
Whoa.
yeah, so she brings this like,
about that movie.
yeah, so she brings this fun energy to that film and plays a villainous, intimidating type person pretty well. And I feel like she can bring that same type of energy and dynamic to her role in Life and Death, Twilight Reimagined. So Joss is Emilia Clarke. So when in the book, when BEAU first encounters kind of like the nomadic trio of Joss's nomadic vampire group, I'm realizing what I'm saying in real time because I haven't said these things out loud. I have not discussed this book with anybody. But BEAU observes Joss to be to have like a more natural beauty, but not conventionally beautiful, but is kind of like, you know, not like standoffish against Joss. And I feel like Emilia Clarke, similar to James's actor in Twilight, is also pretty stiff and can convey a kind of cold, calculated nature that I think a nomadic vampire needs to portray, and Joss kind of projects in the novel. And so I've chosen her.
Mm.
Victor, I did swap to Bill Skarsgård. Here's why. If you'll remember, in the follow-up to Twilight, Victoria becomes kind of the villain trying to track down Bella for James's death. And so I think Bill Skarsgård, even though like aesthetically doesn't match what I picture Victor to look like from the novel, he certainly has the cunning part down, and I think could be really intimidating presence in a sequel, perhaps Life After Death, Life After Death, like New Moon Reimagined. And so I feel like having him set up as like the cunning kind of evil mastermind villain for subsequent novel or two, I think is a bold choice, but I think it's the right one to make. I'm gonna have to disagree, Gabby. Your Zoe Kravitz is way off the mark. I'm doing a Zendaya. Here's why.
Zendaya.
Okay. Zendaya. Okay, here's why. So you might notice this is Peter Parker's love interest in the Spider-Man MCU films.
Mhm.
I think this is a great homage because in the book, BEAU is actually pretty attracted to Lauren and like finds her to be like, she's like, oh wow, she's like, I really like her personality and I really like just who she is. And I think that'd be a nice nod to all the Spider-Man fans out there.
Do you think the Spider-Man fans are watching Life and Death?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think so, because I think if we can get these two in here, that opens the door to then incorporate this into the greater MCU canon. So
I think this is just a weird Spider-Man fanfic.
I mean,
No. I think
you better hold
I
your tongue for these next two choices.
okay.
Okay. Point is,
I'm joshing.
I think Tom Holland has a good chemistry with Zendaya, and I feel that it would be a nice nod because again, they have a kind of similar chemistry in the novel that I think would play off well.
It's
All right,
super-
next
it's
up,
super
Charlie
framey
Swan,
real
Nicolas
quick.
Cage. So Nicolas Cage.
Hold on, let me rejoin.
We're kind of breaking the news here.
Sorry. It was just...
Henry, would you like to? Are you back here yet?
Yeah.
Yes, we are back. Apologies.
Awesome, no worries. Would you like to describe? Are we actually like live right now? Okay, never mind.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so you guys missed the trailer. I'm sorry about that. That was weird. Yeah. So Avengers Aftermath come into streaming tomorrow on Disney Plus. It was just announced for the May releases. So, okay. Anyways, so my last one is non-canon. I was gonna do more non-canon characters who show up later in the series,
I like it.
but I didn't want to get too carried away. So Charlize Theron as so we don't have a name for Aro or Arrow, the leader of the Volturi. I assume like Arlene, maybe that would make sense, or Ari, I don't know. But Charlize Theron, I think, would be a good choice for this. Like, brings that cold, calculating nature to the role, and I feel like would be a great just like vampire pursuing people.
She looks like she belongs in a haircut catalog.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you can probably ask this and be like, I want an A-shaped bob, make it look like this.
I want spikes coming off my face so I look like a spider.
Yeah. And so that is my Twilight fan cast. I did not go into the soundtrack. There'd be probably more Radiohead on it.
Yeah.
Sea Shanty too.
I was just keeping to the original ratios
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
of Radiohead and Tom York music on the soundtrack.
So yeah, I think it'd be cool if we had two versions of this. If I were thinking of a director, I might go for like a Sofia Coppola maybe, or yeah, I think it would be, or even like give it to ScarJo, because ScarJo is a really competent director, and so I think if we give it to ScarJo to do, then that'd be a kind of cool little passion project she can invest in. But that's it.
What has she directed?
Yeah. What's his
Hang on, I need to look it up. I could be thinking of the wrong person. This might be embarrassing. Let me. I swear she's directed something. I am almost positive. I know she was in Home Alone 3. That was the height of her career.
Oh,
I feel like she has.
Yeah.
Wait, did she direct? What was it?
Director. Let me see.
No, the brain one. The brain one with Morgan Freeman.
No, she did not direct Lucy. That she was in that, unfortunately.
Yeah, I thought.
Oh.
I know she directed something. I think you're right.
Hang on. I might be wrong.
In other news, while we were working on this, I started doing like a Percy Jackson movie cast because I've been rereading it, and I just
it's
keep
already perfect.
seeing absolutely not. I just keep seeing Adam Driver as Hades, like, and because now that I've tricked my mind into imagining me reading all of the books as me trying to convert them into films, so I'm like, oh, we'd have to cut this scene, like, oh, we'd have to make this a little shorter. Well, how could we connect these with deleting this monster battle, which is kind of annoying, but but I'm really invested in like Hades being Adam Driver and Demeter being Meryl Streep, because I think that dynamic would be really funny because they're always arguing. I don't know. I think that would be really good to watch.
I done goofed Scarlett Johansson. I saw her name as a directing role when I watched an Ellie Goulding documentary. So she worked on that.
Since when has Scarlett Johansson been a musical artist?
She has been, yeah. That was like
she's also been
2008. How have I not known about this?
Yeah, you should check it. She's actually not terrible. Like she's.
I'm listening to her song right now. Fawn.
I'd maybe give Angelina Jolie the directing role then, because I know I know for a fact she's proven herself as a competent director.
I have a quick question, Cassidy.
Sure.
Just because Gabby brought it up and Percy Jackson and that stuff. I've never read a Percy Jackson book in my life. I have seen.
Lucky you.
I have seen all the movies that were released. I didn't understand any of them. Can you just give me a quick rundown of like what?
Kelly, you need to just read the books. They're written like at such an easy level to read. They're so fun. It takes you like a day to read them. It's great.
Yeah.
It's worth it. Don't watch the movie. It's everything ever wrong ever.
I'm gonna catch some flack for this. Percy Jackson is a Greek mythology fanfic.
That's fair.
But I mean, Percy Jackson.
Rick Riordan has ever written is just mythology fanfics.
Percy Jackson is Artemis Fowl for an 8 years older demographic.
Yep. Have you seen the Artemis Fowl trailer? Like they're coming out with a movie.
I'm so excited. I'm hoping they base a book series on it, similar to
Hey.
when they made the Avatar movie and then made the series, and they made Percy Jackson, then made the books based on it, and Harry Potter and all that stuff.
Can we talk about the Fortnite movie that's coming out?
No.
Oh,
There's a Minecraft movie coming out too. I've
No.
been waiting for that for years.
we'll have ray tracing though.
Oh, the ray tracing actually looks sick.
Are they
I know it
actually
does.
making a Fortnite trailer? I'm not
But
trailer.
I don't have a 2080 Ti, so I probably can't run it.
For the Fortnite movie, would I have to use V-Bucks to see it?
Hopefully.
I don't
Or
know.
maybe
do you
it's-
get
maybe
the
it's like-
promotions for the
like-
Travis Scott.
Maybe it's like the
concert?
Detective Pikachu promo where like you show up on the opening night and you get like free Pokemon cards, but it's just you get free V-Bucks.
When will there be a Fortnite Pokemon Go equivalent?
Oh God.
Like an
Fortnite.
IRL battle royale that resets every 24 hours, so it's like you going
Oh,
around trying
God.
to like eliminate other people.
That
And, like,
actually
your-
kind of
your
sounds
district.
sick.
Friends.
That actually
Fortnite.
kind of sounds sick.
The sacrifice. Welcome to the end game.
Epic Games, let me know.
Epic Games, hit me up with the sponsorship, bro.
If sponsorship, I'm also open to working with Respawn Entertainment on Titanfall 3. I'll come into BioWare Austin. Let's crank out a Knights of the Old Republic 3. I really like what you've done with Old Republic, but let's just keep this train going. And finally, Konami hit me up. I want to make a new Silent Hill game and stop making slot machines and spas. Please make a Silent Hill again.
Oh, give me-
Wait, what? They make slot machines now?
Konami, yeah, that's where they got out of the video game business. Is they realized looking at their financials, well, we can sink $150 million into Metal Gear Solid 5 and maybe break even, or we can make slot machines and make literally hundreds of millions of dollars on a like $10 million investment.
I mean, they already have like the resources to do so with video.
Yeah, so when
people like that.
So when people get upset with Konami, I'm like, I can't blame them. They looked at the business and they're like, why are we making video games anymore?
That makes sense.
Anyways,
Overwatch movie also.
Oh, also, have you guys heard about the Borderlands Science Project?
yes, Mariam Bialik, right? From
Yeah.
Big Bang
It's
Theory?
actually super
Yeah.
sick. Where it's a mini game inside of Borderlands 3, where you match up things, and it's meant to like decrypt actual DNA sequences,
Yeah,
like in real life. Like it's really cool. Actually.
Dang.
yeah. It's super cool. I have a reason to play Borderlands 3 again.
Okay. Borderlands is the best game franchise ever released, and Borderlands 3 is the king of
Okay.
those.
We're gonna. Oh my god.
Oh.
We are going to have to shut this down immediately because I'm not going to get into this conversation with you. Borderlands 3 is the worst written game I think
No.
I've ever played.
It is not.
Borderlands
It's
2
so good.
is a mostly poorly written game saved by a halfway decent, like actually a really solid main story and main villain. And then Borderlands 1 has the best writing in the series because they didn't know how weird they were and they didn't try to make it a meme. And then the pre-sequel is just bad. Like it's not because it's from Australia. Like I have nothing against Australia.
But I mean, the
that game's bad.
pre-sequel has Claptrap, where you get random supers whenever you go.
Okay, Claptrap is objectively the worst character in Borderlands. And I
All
stand
right.
by
So,
that.
anyways, we're gonna be. We will, unless there's anything to say that's not related to why they're wrong about Borderlands, we will be moving on and seeing you guys next Friday. But all right, Henry, take it away. Don't talk about Borderlands, but go ahead. You're welcome to plug something or just.
I would plug my Twitter, but I can't say it. It's not TOS.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
People
hit
know
me
where
up
to
on
find you.
my Snapchat, ask for my Twitter, and I'll give it to you. I'm not allowed to
Thanks,
say
Henry.
it. You're welcome.
You've changed in the weeks since we've seen you on the stream. You really developed a social media presence.
Hey, I'm still. This is day 20 something of trying to get Tana Moju to start a Twitter war with me.
All right. Cool. So we're going right there. Thank you, Gabby, for being with us. Thank you, Kelly, for being with us. Thank you, Jonathan, for being with us, and thank you, Henry, for being with us.
Of course. My
Peace
pleasure.
out.
All right. Bye, guys.